Maple TA End of Semester Summary Assignment Question number 13. Joe has two routes he can drive to work. He wants to learn which route is the fastest. Step 2. The time to drive each route varies a little every day. Joe assumes that each route will be open and safe to drive. Step 3. Over the next 2 weeks, Joe alternated driving the two routes. He timed the length of the drive on each route and he calculated the mean and standard deviation for the times for both routes. Route 1 was 25.2 minutes on average. Route 2 was also 25.8 minutes on average. The standard deviation for Route 1 was 1.8 minutes and Route 2 was 8.9 minutes. Remember, standard deviation shows the spread of the data. So this one, I'm going to have a very smaller spread, so most of the data points are going to be very close to the mean. This 8.9 is almost 8 times the standard deviation of over here. So the spread here is going to be dramatically higher. So the data points are not as close to the mean here. 25.8. So we're going to have a much wider spread, so much lower and much higher on Route 2 for this standard deviation. Step 4, make an informed decision. Which route has the possibility of a very short amount of time to drive to work? As we were discussing, the standard deviation here is really high. That means the spread here has a lot of data points spread far away from this mean, which means that I'm going to have some very low and some very high numbers on Route 2 as opposed to Route 1 where all of them are going to be very close to the 1.8 minutes above, 1.8 minutes, it's an average of 1.8 minutes around that mean. So this one is going to have the option of having a much shorter route to drive. So route 2. Which route results in the most consistent times? As we talked about the spread here, a route or route, however you want to pronounce that, this one's going to be much more around the 25.2 minute, the mean here. So this one will be much more consistent. So number 1. The next one, which route is more likely to take a very long time on occasion? Because the spread here on number 2 is 8.9 minutes, that means that it has the option of having much lower and much higher. So this one's more likely to have a very long time on occasion. So, which route do you think, 1 or 2, that Joe should choose? Because this one's very consistent, you can time yourself a little more accurately, and so I would say number 1. Step 5. Under which of the following circumstances should Joe reevaluate his decision? So I think the number of vehicles changes, that could cause some traffic, and so that would change the mean here, which would be a good indication that he should reevaluate. The next one, the installation of traffic lights. Oh, on the route he has chosen. Absolutely. That will also change the mean time for him because he might have more stops and a lot more traffic that will change that mean. So definitely a reevaluation. The next one, road construction. Oh, that would also be a time to reevaluate because, again, it'll change the mean if he gets stuck in road construction. And last, Joe changes job locations. Absolutely. That would definitely change his evaluation of how to drive there because he would not be driving that direction. So I say all of those apply for his reevaluation. And that's our answer.